Of course. I apologize for the background music. I'm at Starbucks right now.
Dude, it's cool. So we're in like an Airbnb.
Okay.
So the rest of the team comes out, and we have like a co-working space underneath our Airbnb.
Oh, that's sweet.
And dude, it's so I'm in like a little office. Like there's just many offices all throughout here.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I
That's nice, you
know.
guys. Do you guys so yeah, how you're on the Meraki team, right? Is
Yes.
that right? Okay.
Yeah.
And how does it work with you guys? Do you only do Airbnbs or do you have like apartment complexes? Because I'm sure you guys have a ton of dudes.
Yeah, no, we have like 40 guys coming out this summer just on our team. So Meraki, Zach
Yeah.
has like Meta, Keefe, Meraki, and Apollo, which is in California. But yeah, we'll have apartments that Sunrun like provides. That's what we'll move into on May 1st when the whole team gets out here because there's only four of us out here right now.
Oh yeah. Yep. Same with us. There's only four of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll
That's
be
sweet,
really
man.
cool. It'll be like just like fall camp. The best way to describe summer, like to my friends that don't know door to door that played sports, I'm like, dude, it's like fall camp for 4 months. But instead of going to practice, you go knock doors.
Yeah, dude. That's why I want to get more athletes out here because it's just like they it's the same grind. It's like you have your season where you're just grinding it out, and then you have the off season where you can just like kind of do whatever you want. You know,
I,
that's
I
the beauty
know.
of it.
I know.
That's cool, man. Well, okay. So starting off, I asked pretty much everybody the same question. What's so for you? What's the hardest thing you feel like you've ever done in your life?
What a question to start off the podcast. First off, thank you for having me on here, dude. I like this is so cool to me. I'll never forget you were one of the first people to ever hit me up in the door to door space, and it made me feel really cool about myself. I was like, dude, this is really cool. And then I started looking on your page. I'm like, damn, this dude is really cool. So I'd like to dive into your story a little bit too later on. But the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Mm,
Yeah.
the first thing that comes to my mind was honestly this time last year. I so I grew up in Georgia and grew up with a great family. Like my family is the reason why I want to do the things I want to do and why I am the type of person I am is because of my family. Like 100%. Like I come from a great family, two parents, I have two younger sisters, and it was just a household of love. And like I never needed or really wanted for everything. Like everything that I ever wanted or needed, like I was provided. And my parents aren't like financially free or anything, but they always made sure that when I woke up in the morning, like I would have football growing up at like 6 a.m. workouts. My dad was up at 5:30 and we had breakfast ready. I never went to school, not one day without having breakfast ready. And he would also give me extra food to give to some of my teammates that might not have had it. So I grew up with that type of family. A type of family where like never missed a game. Like every football game that I ever had, every sporting event that me or my sisters ever had, they never. And like there was a lot of seasons where I was just like on crutches or in a sling, where I was out the rest of the season, and we would go travel in college, like 4 hours, 5 hours away. Yet they were still in the stands watching me on the sidelines stand and watch my team. Like that's the type of families that I was brought up in, and it really showed me how much it is to care and like love and pour into somebody. The hardest thing I did, how I get into it. So last year, I started this podcast after football, and I really wanted to. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I was meant for more than what I was doing. I got done with school, got done with football, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was helping my dad work for his company. He owns a shoulder pad company. They like all the shoulder pads, football shoulder pads you see, the NFL, college. You might have worn at Utah. They're the Pro Gear ones. And I was helping him, and it was so fun. But I just knew there was something else out there for me. I loved what I was doing. That's the thing. It's like I wasn't in a bad situation. I wasn't in a bad situation back then. But I knew that I was meant for more. And I become friends with this guy named Danny Miranda on social media. And he's a podcaster that I looked up to. He was the first time when I first started my podcast, he was the first guy that came across my page that had on like Alex Ramosi, Nick Bear, all these big guys. And he's like 28 at the time. And he was the first person ever in the podcasting world that came across my feed. And I was like, no way, dude. if he can do it, I can do it. I was like, there's no way that guy's better than me. If he can do it, I can do it. And I said that, and I got back from Running Man. I was doing a podcast, and I said that in a podcast. I was like, bro, why can't we be great? I was like, I have Danny. Like, I can be better than Danny because I have Danny to learn from. Danny didn't have Danny to learn from at my stage. I was like, we have Jesse Itzler. Like, Jesse Itzler didn't have Jesse at our age to learn from. I was like, so why can't we be better than them and like do it faster? And I said that in a podcast, clipped it. Danny DM'd me like within the first 5 seconds. He reposted it. He's like, dude, this is awesome. We became friends over social media, and he was hosting a retreat. He lives in Austin, Texas. So it was like 10 people only, like invite only. He selected me. I was so stoked. Went out there. It was legit like April 15th of last year. And I went out there, paid like $4,000 I didn't have at the time, really. It was 4 nights in like 5 days, something like that, in Austin, Texas, to get out there. And I went out there with the intentions to learn how Danny could have like this influence in this platform and host these retreats and build this podcast and build this community and have the money and the time to do it. Like, I didn't understand how these people could have the money and the time to do all of this stuff and go all in on their dreams. And nobody back home was doing that for me. And I wanted to do it. So I went out there to learn how to do that. And the first night we're sitting in a circle and I state exactly what I just said. I was like, look, I feel called to do something. I just don't know how to have the money and the time to do it. I was like, and I'm here to learn from you, Danny, how you can do it because I feel called to do this. I just don't know how to do it yet. And like I said, there's 10 of us. And little did I know, like 3 people down from me was a guy named Doug Cartwright. And when it got to Doug's turn, before he went in on his story, because Doug was on Danny's podcast a couple months before, Doug was like, Clayton, it's like, I got something for you that'll change your life. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. And then he flowed into his story. And me, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait for breakfast tomorrow. So the next morning, I sit right beside him. And Doug just came up. He's like, he just told me about his experience in door-to-door sales. Like, he didn't pitch me on it. He just told me about it. And he's like, when I have a kid, I'm really going to encourage them to do at least one summer of door to door. And he just talked about how it changed his life. And then after that conversation, we didn't say another word. He planted a seed in my head, but it didn't say another word. Because at first I was like, hell no, I ain't doing that. Because like none of my friends back home in Georgia did it. Like, I didn't know a single person. I didn't know one person back home that did it. So I was like, I don't know about that. I've heard about it, but like, I don't know. Throughout the whole retreat, nothing is set up from it. And then it just so happens that me and Doug's flight at the end of the retreat are at the same time from the airport. So we share an Uber ride. We're going back and we pass a solar system. I nudged him. I'm like, hey, look, solar. And he told me what that dude probably made off the system. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, look. He's like, I think it would be just worth a phone call with Zach. He's like, if you think you can really do all of that, he's like, you can go and grind for 4 months, make 6 figures, and then go do whatever you want the rest of the 8. He's like, if you really believe in what you just told me, he's like, I think you should hop on a phone call with Zach. So next day, hop on a phone call with Zach. I got listened to his podcast before to get an understanding. I was like, okay, this dude's the real deal. And literally at the end of the call, my only question was, when can I start? Like, I was already bought in. And then the next day, like, I told my parents, and this was like, this is like April, like 20th at the time. So like summer's about to start. So I'm shipping out next week. And I tell my parents, and it did not go over well. They're like, what the hell? Like, why would you do this? Why would you throw everything good that you've built here away? Why would you do this? And they were not fans of it at all. And I'll never like forget this. It was the last day and I was already committed. Like, I was like, I'm going. Like, I can't even explain it. I know it probably doesn't look like the greatest decision on paper. The only way I can explain it is like, I just feel called to do it. Like, this is it. Like, this is my chance. And that's just how I felt, and couldn't really describe it other than this just feels right. So we live up in the mountains of Georgia, and we live on a lake, or my parents live on a lake, and there's this one like gravel road that goes around the lake where we lived on. And then you walk up, and then there's one, it's like 2 mile walk / hike on this really high thing on the mountain that looks over the lake. And this was the day before I left. And my dad and I would usually walk this thing together with the dogs. And like I said, it's the day before I left, and we're walking. And the day before he left, he wrote me a 6-page handwritten letter of the pros and cons of me going, but him saying like, "Son, I do not want you to go." Because at the time, me and him were working together.
Yeah, what was he? What were they so against with you going? You said you were talking about everything you built. What were you leaving that he was so against you leaving?
I was working with him with the shoulder pads, and like my job was so freaking cool, dude. It still is. I went back home just to do that what I was doing before for free because I loved it. Like all we would do is we go around to these high schools and colleges and just talk to coaches, like for 2 hours about nothing. And then at the end, he's like, "All right, let me get 100 shoulder pads." Like that's what my dad does. It's the dream job. And I started an Instagram page for him. And dude, his Instagram blew up. He got like 8,000 followers in a week. Like every reel that I would post, I would just go around and make highlight videos of high schools and colleges. And they would average like 200,000 views per reel, which is nuts. Then I helped him start a podcast. And then the podcast blew up. He would go and talk to high school coaches. And it still is. I think it's going to be a huge podcast. And he was getting like 500 downloads an episode, way more than I'm getting. And it was just fun. I've never seen my dad like that energetic and like livelihood because it was something like of his. Finally, and I love that. And they just didn't know about door to door. They just have never heard it. Like I said, no one did it back home. And we're on this thing, and he just wrote me a 6-page handwritten letter, basically telling me please don't go. Like you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't like everything that you've built here. Why would you cast it all the way on something you don't even know? And then we're up on top of this mountain. I'll never forget this. And like my dad is like a football guy. We tell each other we love each other, but like he's a football coach. There's not a whole lot of huggy, like lovey-dovey stuff. But like I know he loved me. And then on top of that mountain, he was just like, "Clayton, it's like I'll never beg you to stay, but if begging gets you to say, well, son, this is me begging. I need you here. I want you to stay." And I was like, I just didn't say anything for like 10 seconds, try to digest like, how the hell am I about to respond to this? It's like, "Dad, this is just something I have to do." And he's like, "All right." And then we walked back to the house, and I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't many words after that conversation said. When he dropped me off, he hugged me and from the airport, and that was kind of it. And that was like the first time, like, because I played football at Kennesaw State in Atlanta, so I was like 2.5 hours away from home. So it wasn't like I was gone from home. I could easily go back if I wanted to. And that was like the first time I really moved away from home. And honestly, my conversation with my dad, like, didn't talk to him as much as I did. But honestly, saying that to answer your question, this long-winded answer to answer your question, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've had to do was leave my family at a really good time to kind of pursue something that I wanted, because I know if I go and do this thing and I really do accomplish my dreams, I can help all of their dreams become true so we can really live that. And that is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. But at that time, it was hard to leave them. Even when they like quote unquote begged me to stay, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've had to go through.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy to me how like similar the backgrounds are, the people I bring on here, like me and you. Just a quick little blip of like my story. After I got done with college football, probably similar to you, I had like a whole identity crisis, right? It's like you don't know what the heck you want to do after that. At least for me, I had no clue. And so my wife and I, we actually moved to Georgia to open a business. And that was the time when like my parents were like, no, you're not doing this, because I up to that point, the football thing was what they wanted me to do. That was like the path, you know. And then I get on this other path. And they're like, whoa, that's like not what we planned for you, And it's interesting. Just the plans that they have for us don't always align with the things that we envision for ourselves. But yeah, dude, I feel like I actually went on a retreat. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was working at a company called Hydro Jug, and we sponsored one of Brian Mazza's event. You know Brian Mazza?
I
He's
don't.
an Austin, Texas guy. Okay, so he's an Austin guy too. Austin's just like a hub for all these freaking studs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I went to his event. Similar thing. It's like this retreat thing. You work out with a bunch of like-minded people, and that same as you. It like opened my eyes to what's possible. It's like these guys are doing their dream businesses, and they're just like providing for themselves and more so. And so But yeah, super interesting how similar our paths were in that sense. But when it comes to, obviously, you met Doug out there. What drew you to doing solar versus anything else? Was it? Do you feel like it was more the people you were working with, or do you think it was the actual thing that you were selling?
That's funny. And I get asked this question a lot, especially on my DMs. I get asked like, why Sunrun? Why solar? And to be honest with you, like Doug knows everybody in door to door, like he really does. I didn't have any say. Doug could have put me with anybody and I probably would have gone because I didn't know. I didn't know anybody in door to door. Like none of my Instagram, no, I didn't know anybody in door to door. And out of everybody, Doug picked Zach. And Zach and I just hit it off like that. And to be honest with you, when people ask me, like, and I've told people this before, Sunrun pays me, but I work for Meraki. Like if Zach picked up Meraki and moved it to and we were going to be a paintball team or a horseback riding team, dude, I'm buying my paintball and my saddle tonight. Like wherever Zach takes Meraki, that's where I'm going to go right now because it is the buy-in here that he's created in this culture is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is nuts. I'm wearing a hat right now from him. I've never seen it. I think that's the reason like God has put me, why I met Doug and why I'm meeting Zach is the brand he's creating. Dude, like he has over like 250 guys or something like that. I don't know. Half of them have Meraki tattooed on their body. And the reason the other half doesn't is because they haven't hit the requirement yet to get it. Like it's crazy. And the first thing that I noticed, and this is really like when things started to change for me, and I noticed it right away when I got around there in the summer, because I shipped up to summer without knowing anybody. Like I hopped on a FaceTime call with Zach, but Zach wasn't out there selling with us, in Illinois last summer because he had bigger things to do. He would go out there a lot, but I went up there without knowing a single person, like met everyone day one. And I noticed it pretty quick how people talked about Zach behind his back. Like, and I was like, dude, I have yet to hear one person say anything negative about him behind his back. Like everyone that like just talking about him, whether like they were talking, I was listening or they were talking to me, everyone said something good about them. And I just was like, dude, this is like, you don't really see that much where just that many people talk that highly about somebody behind their back. And then like I experienced the culture. And I'll never forget this feeling flying back home from Chicago to Georgia after the summer. And like I grew up on teams. Like since I can remember, I was on a football, baseball team and really good teams, like playing for state championships, winning region championships all throughout high school. I went to Buford High School, which is a really good high school. Then we go to Kennesaw State, win conference championships there. Like I was on championship teams my whole life. And I had like on great teams and I was a leader on all these teams. And I remember flying back home thinking, damn, that might have been the best team I've ever been a part of. Just that little Meraki team. And I've yet to even meet the other teams in other Meraki. And then I go there and I freaking fall in love with the Meta and the Kiwi boys and the Apollo boys. But I mean, to answer it, like I had no idea. I didn't have a say. I was just placed. And it turns out like it was one of the greatest things to happen to me. And I do think like now, will I do door-to-door sales forever for the rest of my life? Probably not. But when I look back on my story and my journey, I do believe that that conversation I had with my dad when I left and then joining Meraki will be one of the most important chapters of my entire book. I truthfully believe that. That's why I'm so bought into this dream because like I can see Zach's vision with this. And the reason people love Zach, the reason why his guys love Zach, it is because of how much Zach loves his guys. Like 100%. Like it's crazy. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. Like he loves us. Like he does. And it shows with his actions, his words, like everything he does is about how can he help us be successful. And it's crazy. And it's a culture that, and what I'm really trying to learn is how he can create that buy-in. Like these kids on our team, me included, will go to war for Zach. Like we will. We'll stay out late. We'll get up early. We'll do the little things because if Zach needs us to go throw up some numbers or go do whatever, we're going to do it because he'll do whatever it takes to us. So right now in my stage, I'm learning how he can create Meraki like a brand. Like Meraki's bigger than a door-to-door team, 100%. Like I said, if he picked up Meraki like he did at Vivint and brought him here, where he can take Meraki wherever, and I promise you, all those 250 guys or however many people on Meraki are going with him. So he's buying. So I'm trying to learn how he's done that so well, because I believe there's not many people really just in general that have created that like he has. So to answer your question, I didn't have a say. I was placed into it. Thank God that out of everyone, Doug picked Zach. And I get, and this might be bad to say, but like I get paid by Sunrun, but I work for Meraki.
Yeah, like up to this point, what do you feel like is the thing that you've seen that, the way that he has created that buy-in and that culture that you guys would do anything for him?
So like, what's the best way he's done that?
Yeah, like how do you feel like you've seen up to this point? 'Cause is he out there with you, like coaching you guys, all that kind of stuff, or is he kind of like at a distance, kind of like the dude that communicates to the managers and then they kind of
Hmm.
help you guys out?
So last year, my first year was the first time ever that he wasn't in market selling. He's been doing this 9 years now. So last year was the first time he ever wasn't in market, like knocking doors with us, because he's like a DM now at Sunrun. But no, he comes out like in summer. He's never like just at home in Utah chilling. Like in the summer, he's bouncing between California, and then last year his three teams were in Illinois, so he was all throughout the state in Illinois, giving trainings, and then he'll go knock with like a low producing rep, like a new guy, and then like he has meeting. He's just nonstop. Um, but no, like there's not like many times throughout the year, like he would just come in, spend like a couple days with us, and then go to the other team and spend a couple days with them, and then go to the other team. And he would just freaking rotate between that. He was just nonstop. So I do wish that I could have had that time, because they all just tell stories like some like old folk tale stories of Zach, like when he sells. Now, granted, he came out there. We were in a competition. He came out there. He's never sold solar before, and same day a guy and like sold a deal like within the first like 10 minutes of knocking. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? And he's never sold it solar before, but no, it's just we can just tell like how much like he actually truly cares, and like all the stuff that he buys for us, like all the hats and the gear that he pays for, and like the retreats that we have, and the award ceremonies and all the stuff that we do. Like he has spent so much money like on us and Meraki. Like all the money that he makes, he puts damn near, and this like he puts 30% of all he makes back into just like hats and like jackets for us, like for just to give to us. And it's crazy. Like when we go out in public, like even when I go back to Utah in the off season, all the Meraki kids, they're decked out in Meraki. Like when on our sports team, like whenever we go back home, wherever, like we're wearing our sports gear. It's the same thing here, dude. It's nuts. But yeah, he'll make sure that he spends time with every team.
That's sweet, man. No, that's like the dream to build a team like that and be a part of a team like that. Honestly, and you have a lot of history with being on great teams. What do you feel? How do you feel like this door to door thing is a great vehicle for like former athletes, especially guys that like don't know what they want to do with their life after football, basketball, whatever.
I mean, dude, that was me. Like this time last year, like that was me. I just had a lot of like ambition, drive, like passion. I just knew I was meant for something more. I just didn't know where to put all that drive and energy into. Like and the thing is like I liked where I was at. It wasn't like I was in a bad situation. I just knew that if I really wanted to go and achieve the dreams that I had to do something different than what I was doing. I had to. And luckily for me, it found me. But the reason why I think it's so good is like somebody, and this is why, like I love posting on social media, because I have guys coming out with me this summer to sell with me and to work with me. And dude, they're perfect because they're just like me. Like my social media attracts people just like me. They're already writing down their top 10 goals. Like we're already like doing trainings, and they're so stoked, and they've never done door to door before. And the only thing I asked them is like, dude, just like go all in. I was like, I swear, if you trust the process, like you will see success and you will change your life. Like I promise you, it's hard to get around a culture like this when everyone's high energy and just bought in and dialed in. Like it's almost impossible for you to live with somebody with a team like that with 30 people all on a mission and not catch that drift and not do the things they do. Like you will fall to the level of the standard around here. And and like, so I had all this drive and ambition, and I came out the gates just swinging, like just full of piss and vinegar. I wanted to take over the world. And then like I get around this atmosphere, and all it did was just pour fuel on the fire. Like that's all it did. And then I'm seeing all these other guys, like, to be honest, making all this money. And I've never in my life been around guys my age making this type of money. And that was honestly one of the biggest like mindset shifts, paradigm shifts I've ever had. Is when my friend, like my two best friends on the team, are showing me their bank accounts. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even know that was possible. I'm like, you're making what my dad's making right now. And my dad, and like my family's pretty set back home in Georgia. I've never seen that before. And that was like, that changed my mind a lot. I was like, holy snap, like how money works, how money can be made. Now I understand how these people can do all of this stuff. But if you just have like a desire, and the only way you lose in this job, and I was telling a young guy this yesterday, I was like, dude, and he was scared of failing. And I was asking him, like, what are you most nervous about this summer? Because we were just talking. He had a rough day, Saturday, his first Saturday. So what are you most scared of? Like, what are you most nervous about for this summer? He's like, dude, I don't want to fail. He's like, I don't want to come out here and then go back home this summer or leave early for summer and feel like I've failed. I was like, that is a valid thing. I was like, that's what most humans are scared of is failure. Like, so that's natural to feel that, dude. Like, that's natural to feel that. I was like, the only way you fail is if you quit. Like, the only way you fail in this job is if you quit and you go home early, or you go home thinking, damn, I had so much left in the tank. I could have gone so much harder. Like, that's the only way you fail on this job. So if you come out and the only thing you commit to is trusting the process and legit going all in and playing all out, you won't fail. You can't fail. Like, you might not hit your financial goal that you want, but I promise you, if you go all out, you'll become that type of person that is able to hit that later on. And that is a win. You learn.
That's so true, dude. Yeah.
And that's what I was like telling myself last summer too.
Yeah, I feel, because, I mean, last summer was my first full summer. I did it part-time the year before, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, yeah. So I did it part-time. When we were running our business in Georgia, I was knocking part-time and like zero training, zero. Like, I wasn't getting coached, or I just knew the pitch, right? But that's one thing I could say is, like, if you're like super even untalented and you just work super hard, yeah, you could have like, you're gonna have a good summer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be terrible. I think the only way that it could be terrible is if you legit just don't put the work in. But yeah, dude, what are your goals with it? Like, whether it be with door to door, your podcast, like, what are your goals in the next 2-3 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been thinking about that a lot recently, trying to get specific on it. I need to get like really clear. So this is one thing that I'm really excited to do. So I'm having a guy come like film and help like document like this summer. And I'm having these guys that have hit me up on social media that I've never met before. And they're going to come out. Have you seen the show Hard Knocks?
Yeah, the football show?
The football show.
Yeah, dude, like a series, dude, that'd be sick.
I love it. So you know how they get like the team, they get the culture of the team. But they really dive in on like three people and like really get their story. And like some might be like a really good player. Some might be like the third string quarterback that might get cut. And like a DB that's good. You know, it's just like different stages. So we're doing that this summer, and the guys that are coming out for me, and like we're picking different guys. And I want to document their growth, dude, because like all I know is if they buy in and do that, which like these kids coming out for me are like, they are, because the same time when we hopped on the call to like an intro call like this to like get to know each other, like they were ready to go right then. And I was like, do you have any questions for me? And they're like, when can I start? The same question that I had. So I'm like, that's what you need right there. That's the type of kid that I'm looking for right there. Come and like, as long as you can go all in, I promise you, I will do everything in my power. And this culture will do everything in its power to change you for the better. And I believe that. And I believe that so much that like, I'm going to document their growth from day one till the day they leave for summer, and like but show how much it actually takes to grow. And not just show, because I feel like people on social media, especially in the door-to-door and sales, they'll just buy the cars and show the cars and like they'll sell the sizzle and the steak, but they won't show how it's made. I'm doing the opposite. I'm going to show how hard it actually is. Like how hard it actually is to go make six figures in the summer. Because it's hard, bro. It is really hard. So I want to show that and show how much it takes. And I want to get the receipts. I want to get the proof that, hey, if you come out, and my whole thing is, if I want people to watch this content and be like, damn, that kid changed his life by being around them and being around Clayton. And that kid is no different than me. If that kid can do it, I can do it. I want people to watch this and be like, if I can get around him, I'll be able to grow. And I'm getting the receipts and I'm getting the proof of that. But I'm going to show how much it actually takes. So that's kind of what lights my soul on fire. It's like, yeah, dude, like all the rest of it is good, but like I love the team, the culture aspect of this. And that is why I'm so passionate about what we do, is because like it worked for me. It gave me the self-confidence to like really, it changed the way I view the world, to be honest with you. And I want that for other people because I had my life change, and I want other people that were in my same position last year to come out, and I can take them from where they're at now to where I'm at because I've done it. And there's people on my team that they're pulling me too. They're leading me, and I can help them get there even faster than I got there. So that's like really my why. That is why I'm so on fire for what I do, is because of that reason right there.
Dude, that's gonna be sweet. I'm excited to see that, because that's the thing, dude. Is you're right. Nobody talks about it. No one documents that stuff. It's just like the flashy stuff which again, that doesn't really even matter. It's like what matters is the kind of like what you were talking about, the becoming, like what you become on the doors is what gets you those results. It's not just these results magically appear, right? But yeah, I'm really trying to harp on that with our guys, just like the character trait that it takes to get an outcome like that. And but yeah, how do you manage that with your goals? Like I'm so much goal oriented, and I struggle to focus on my inputs only. Obviously, that's the goal, right? To focus on the inputs and the outputs take care of themselves. But how do you manage that with what you're doing? I know you write down your goals every single day, which are primarily from what I can see, like outcome goals. How do
Yeah.
you manage like focusing on your inputs and not emotionally being attached to what the outcome's going to be?
Right, and that's a lot easier said than done. It's just focus on the inputs, don't worry about the outputs. Like there's multiple days where I get in the car, I'll throw my hat a little bit harder at the front of the thing, than other days. And I'm like, damn, dude, like just so close, but yeah, it's not there. Like, no, I'll definitely get upset and pissed, but I really don't let it bother me that much. A, because like I can't let other guys see it bother me. Um, and B, like, it's funny. I had a call. One of the younger guys interviewed me a couple days ago, and he asked the same question. He's like, "How do you not let it impact you? Like, how do you like? Yeah, like naturally it'll upset you. You're not happy that you're not hitting your goals, but like, how do you not let it truthfully impact you?" And like, for me, the answer is pretty simple. Like, it'll just work out. Like, I know that might not be the answer people are looking for, but it does. It just always works out. Like, everything just always works out. It works out the way it's supposed to. And there's really, like, it's either going to happen or it's not. You do need to focus on your inputs. And if you do that, like, it'll probably take care of itself. Like, in my life, every big thing that I've ever wanted, I've either gotten, or God has led me to something different that I didn't think I was going to happen, but it was better than what I wanted. Like door to door and doing all this. This was not part of the plan, but it just worked out. But like when I write all these goals down, like it's just going to work out. Like there's really no need to super worry about it in the moment. Like maybe if you're not working towards that goal, then that's a little bit different. But if I know that, okay, if I just keep chipping away at it each and every day, like I might not get it right now, but if I just keep going, like I have the proof in the past, and like the people that are doing the thing that I want to do are telling me, dude, just keep doing it and it will work out. And honestly, that's just stuck in my head. I'm like, it will work out. Like it'll work out. I don't know when, but it'll work out as long as I keep doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And these people that are doing the thing that I want to be doing are telling me, look, dude, I've been at that stage. Just keep doing it and it will work out. Everyone's timeline is different, but just keep doing it and it'll work out. So in my head, I'm like, okay, like it's going to work out. And honestly, just trust and faith that like, hey, it will work out. And if it doesn't, then God had something different in plan for me that was better than what I wanted. But just the blind faith of like, it'll work out.
Yeah, man, I definitely need to remember that on a more of a daily basis. I feel like when you look in retrospect, because like last summer, it's like the whole summer I'm just like, frick, dude, I'm so behind my goal. And then I get to the end of the summer, I'm like, okay, but that wasn't so bad, you know. You kind of think that in retrospect, but when you're in it, you're just like, frick, man, like I'm so close, but I'm just not there. And but yeah, I think definitely talking to people like you, it's very refreshing getting around like-minded people and seeing that yeah, you have the tough days emotionally.
How do you handle
And
that?
I don't know, dude, I feel like, yeah, I definitely a lot of prayer, like like every day, dude. I in the morning I'm driving out to area and I'll just be praying for the ability to be grateful to do this. You know, like I was telling one of our guys on our team yesterday. I'm like, dude, we get to go. If you look at this perspective, right, we get to ride around on segways in good weather and talk to interesting people. Like that's what we get paid thousands of dollars to do. Ride around on a segway and talk to interesting people. And it's like, okay, if you look at it that way, it's like this is awesome. Like everybody, this would be everybody's dream job. If that was a job description, Segway, talk to cool people, awesome. Get paid thousands of bucks. It's like, okay, let's do it. But it's not. Obviously, we know that it's not that simple. But that's kind of a perspective I've kind of had to do. Oh, the past few days. You know, I'm a married guy, right? I'm out here. My family's back home, and that's something that probably is the hardest part for me, being away from my wife and my two kids. And but just getting in that mental space of like I get to show my son how to work hard. I get to show my wife that I'm willing to do this to provide for us, you know, and that's that's how I usually get in the right headspace. But it is tough. It's still tough.
When things get hard, because that is, I can't relate to that. I don't have a wife or kids, but that is the ultimate goal. When things do get hard, do you think of your wife and kids? Do you miss them more? I'm like, damn, dude, I really want to be around them. Or will you use that like as a motivator to be like, dude, like I'm here, I am away from them. This is a situation. Like I'm here on a mission. How do you use that to your advantage, really?
I think the when I'm on the doors and things are hard, I definitely. So I talked to Josh Zuniga. He was on my podcast a few months ago, and he kind of told me about this. But he used to be kind of a mid tier level rep where he was good. He was always really good, but then the one year he went and shattered the record, right, in pest control. And he was saying the biggest difference, he didn't change his pitch, he didn't change anything. It was just on those days he would just kind of lean into that pain that he's feeling of like, okay, like it's 5 p.m., I got no deals. Like usually you would go to your car, you get a drink, you're like, I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna scroll on my phone, like day's kind of over. But he just like leaned into it and just kept knocking. And that's something that I try to do, just lean into the kind of uncertainty of like, maybe I'm not gonna get anything today, but my character's gonna get better. Like
Mm,
something's gonna get better. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, and then in retro, but when the day's over, and then I get my head hits the pillow, then I kind of get in that sense of like, gosh, like I miss my family. Like that was tough. That was a tough day. But to be honest with you, the work kind of numbs the feelings for me. I try to not feel my feelings until I'm done with the actual work, the productive work. Um, but that's kind of how I do it. Because if I give into it during the times of my inputs, then it affects my inputs because then I'm emotional about it. But it's more like my days when I'm off or the time that I'm off the doors, like on Sundays, like today, like I have time to think about the things that I was short on. I have time to think about my failures, you know. But yeah, I think just getting in a state of gratitude, that's really helpful for me, and just being very prayerful about it. But it is hard, dude. No matter how much advice you get, it is just this job's a grind. But it's like, but then you get the end result, and you're like, frick, that was awesome. Like these paychecks are
yeah,
great. Like I was last year, dude. I was broke. Like I was in debt, and now I have a house. Like that doesn't that you know, it's crazy. So
it is
I guess
crazy.
yeah, I got to be grateful. You just have to be grateful because it's a huge opportunity that most people either they don't have it or they're just not willing to do it. And so it takes a lot of character to do it.
I agree with that. And the really cool part about this job is like we have an end date. Like the end
Yeah,
of summer, like we have an end date. So it's like, why not? For me in my mind, I'm like, why not go all out on that? And then you can go all in on whatever you want to do, whether that's traveling, vacationing, podcasting. That's really cool to me. Is like we have an end date. We have like mini retirements at a young age. Like I'm like after this, I'm gonna go to Moab. Like after the summer, like me and like 8 to 10 other guys are going to Moab for a week to do nothing, and then we're going to Zion National Park. Then we're going to Yosemite. Like, dude, come on, bro. Like that's so worth it. Like that is so worth four months of this to me.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's good. It's awesome you guys have that culture too. Um, I might have to hit you up when you go to Zion's because that sounds like
Yes.
fun.
Yeah. St. George, St. Utah's so
Yeah,
cool,
St.
dude. I
George is
love
dope. I'm honestly like next 3-4 years, I'm probably gonna move there because that's like our dream place. We were in
it.
Arizona this last couple weeks ago, and it's like it's either Arizona or St. George because we're at least close to family.
Yeah.
But St. George is dope. Well, dude, what are your like? Are you dating anybody?
Nope.
You got to Yeah, it's tough. It's tough with this job. But man, like, where do you see where do you see yourself in 10 years? I know that's kind of a
Mm.
long time horizon. Where do you see yourself at? Where do you see like your podcast, or if you want to do that anymore? Like, what do you see?
That is a good question. I have been trying to get really, really clear on that because, like you mentioned it before, I do write my top 10 goals down every day. And one of the ones that I'm always most excited to write down is I lead a following that serve and give for the good. Right. And that is so broad. But like right now, I don't know what that looks like, but that is what I feel most called to do. I, and it's like that's why I'm so excited to be in this stage of my life right now is because I'm learning how Zach can create a Meraki and have this much buy-in, have freaking 100 guys tattoo Meraki on their body. Like that is nuts. Like I want to learn how I can create that own buy-in. Like now, is it building a door-to-door empire? I don't know. I don't know. Door-to-door wasn't even part of my plan this time last year. Like legit this time last year. Like it wasn't. So I just don't know, but I believe that I'm in this season of my life to learn how to create that buy-in, how to create a culture, how to create, a brand. That's the stage that I'm really diving into and learning how to sell, like 100% learning how to sell myself and do all of that stuff and learn how to communicate better. Because I do believe like this is door to door is like the extreme side of like direct sales. You can't get any more like like sales training and practice than doing what we're doing. Granted, do I want to do it the rest of my life? Like knocking doors? Probably not. But selling like an idea and a vision to like my team and my people and honestly to myself and selling somebody on themselves and on their own dreams, like that's really what I'm going to get good at, and that's what this is making me better at. I want to get better at selling that dream and that vision to like my team or a group of people, to myself, and then selling like a better version of somebody to themselves. Like, dude, this is what I see for you. And like, tell them that, like, sell them on themselves so they can buy into that process. What does that look like, dude? I don't know. I don't know quite yet, but I'm also not worried about it though. Like, it's just going to work out. Like going back to what we talked about earlier, like it'll work out. You cannot connect the dots going forward. You can only connect them going back. And right now, I'm just kind of focused on my dot that I'm in and really trying to double down on the lessons that right now that I feel like I'm supposed to be learning right now. And that's really what I'm focusing on. And I just know like I couldn't have planned meeting Doug Cartwright at a retreat last year. That could like when I wrote down my plans for this year, just like I did last year, just like I did this year, I couldn't have planned and I'm going to go to Austin, Texas and meet Doug Cartwright and I'm going to do door-to-door sales. That wasn't part of the plan. I couldn't plan for that. And stuff like that's going to happen this year and the next year. Like people are going to come into my life and just like it's just going to change everything, just like it did last year. Like that's still coming for me. I know that, and that's why I'm really not worried about it. Like I've tried to do the 5-year, 10-year plan, but it's so broad because I don't know. Like I don't even know what I don't know
Yeah,
is the thing, and like what's out there, what's possible.
that's
And
that's that's the thing, dude. It's you don't know what you don't know. That's because think about it's like the door to door thing. Like you didn't even know it existed.
I
Like me, I'm from I'm
know.
from I'm from Utah, so I served a 2-year mission. Like it's normal for us. You know what I mean? And but yeah, that's one thing that is so. That's why I love podcasting. I think is because I learned the things that I just. I mean, obviously, learning is you learn what you don't know, but there's so
Hmm.
much out there that I have no clue that it's even possible. Whether it comes to like the great opportunity with door to door is that we have the opportunity to make good money. But then it's like, okay, I don't know anything about investing. I want to talk to someone about investing. I want to talk to someone about how to set up a great future for myself. But yeah, dude, I that's one thing that I do struggle with, that those two things of like having, I guess, long term goals. Because the reality is, me personally, I can only think about like maybe 6 months in advance, and that's it. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like having a long term goal it's almost overwhelming because to me it ties me to an identity that's not even me yet. And sometimes it's like you said, it's like your path totally changes depending on where the opportunities that arise in the moment. But dude, I seriously appreciate you like coming on, and I hope that we can get together in person soon after the
St.
summer.
George.
And yeah, dude, St. George, I'm gonna be down there for sure a lot. Um, but yeah, dude, we gotta be like, and you already are doing it, like being an example to these young men of how to you know chase your dreams, do the
What
things
do
that
you
you
feel
want to
like
do with
you're
your life.
really like learning in this season? Like, what kind of season do you think you're in, and what's the big lesson you feel like God is calling you to learn?
I think the biggest thing for me is just, so I was having a kid shadow me yesterday, and what I was telling him was like, so I grew up in a really good family, like kind of like you, like family does everything for me. Like they love everything about their kids. They do anything for us. And I feel like that created, in a good way, it made me believe that I can do anything, but it made me kind of believe that it was a little bit easier to do anything. Like if I have a goal, I'm like, okay, it's just not gonna be that hard. Like I can do that. I can accomplish that. I can make this kind of money. And when I got married, that mindset kind of slapped me in the face because I was just a little bit entitled to thinking that life would be easier. And for like the first, I mean, heck, 5 years of our marriage, we were broke, and I just couldn't figure it out. And I think door to door, it is extremely hard. It is extremely, um, there's a big learning curve to it, but it's teaching me how to be self sufficient and create like a life for myself and create income for myself and for my family. And so I think right now I'm trying to learn the skills that I can apply anywhere else to any other industry. And I just want to get really, really good at this skill and make enough to pour and to put into other things in the future, right? But yeah, I'd probably just say the season I'm in is just learning a lot about myself and what I'm capable of. I don't think I've ever, like with football, yeah, I worked really hard, but I don't think I ever extracted like the absolute most out of myself,
Hmm.
like this job does, to where you're exhausted at the end of the day, where you give your all and there's very little result to see from it, in the short term sometimes. And that's a hard thing for most people to do, but I want to be the guy that can do that, that I work my absolute hardest, and if I see no results, it's okay because I know they're going to be down the road, right? So that's probably I'm just in a growth phase right now of my character and becoming a good husband, a good father. That's what I would say.
100%. Do you like how has football kind of impacted your life, and especially like in door to door?
I think for me, what attracted me to door, because I did not want to do it. I was graduated, I got done with football, and I got approached by the Vivint guys and all this stuff. And to be honest, I was approached by the wrong people. Like they weren't good. I'm sure they were good people, but the way they presented it, it was all about the money, and
Yeah.
it was not about the culture. It was not about the life that it can provide you. It was just they're driving a nice car and they show me their paycheck. I'm like, I don't really care. You're not
Yeah.
a cool guy, Like I don't want to be around you. I don't want to be like you. And so I was turned off to it. But then when I met the owner of our company, I was like, okay, you're a really good dude. Like, and you do this and you own a company. It's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And so, but yeah, but back to your question, I think the fact that we can, like you said, work for 4 months and then have an off season, it reminds me of football where you're in the grind of the season and then you have the off season to build yourself, to recover, to invest, spend time with family. Like it's the exact same schedule almost,
It
which I
really
like.
is.
And
Yeah.
so, and that there's not really any other job that you can do. And we're like 1099. We're like basically business owners, which is cool. You know, I like the idea of that, of not having to answer to a clock that I just clock in, clock out. And I never related to that. When I did those jobs, you know, I got fired from two of them because I just didn't relate. I didn't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, you're telling me what my worth is when I can go out and double that in 4 months? It just doesn't make sense, you know? So, but yeah, that's the biggest thing is just like applying the skill sets from sports. The skill sets from sports, I think, really is just the grit
Hmm.
and then the culture, like what you guys are building there, of having just an incubator of a team that can you can plug someone into it and they know what they need to do and they know the standard. I think that's the biggest thing, the standard.
Yeah. Same here. Like everything you just said, same here.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, that's similar to you. That's just what I'm trying to build, and just trying to get around more guys that are like that. You know.
Me too. That's the whole same. Me too.
Yeah, but
That's why I'm so passionate about it too. It's like, dude, like just come experience, get around it. I promise you. Like you'll see once you get here and feel it, it's hard to explain over words and like capturing it like this. Like once you get around it and feel it, it's like this is different. I'm like, I know. Like,
yeah, that's what's gonna be cool about your, you know, the stuff you're filming too. It's like people are gonna see that, and they're gonna see like the realities of it.
yeah. Like
So
I'm doing the exact opposite of how that dude came up to you and like showed all of
yeah,
that. I'm doing the exact opposite of that. Like I'm gonna show how
yeah,
hard it is. Like for real. And that but like that's how I would personally, like that's what would make me be more apt to come and try it. Like, hey, like look how hard this shit is. But I was like, look at this kid. And then now look at him. It's like because he did that. And then if to me I'd be like, damn, if that kid can do it, I can do it. So
yeah,
that's
dude.
that's the approach that I'm going with it too.
Yeah, I love that. And same with like, because like even on social media, I've kind of copied what you've been doing. I almost like post the things that like my failures. Like, oh man, I
Yeah.
didn't get this guy. Like, I need some advice. Somebody tell me what to do. You know, and it's like, because the majority of people you talk to, like yesterday, I had like 5 people in a row just tell me "f you," like get off my property, and you just got to shrug it off because that's their problem. You know, it's not your problem. But
100%.
yeah, dude, I appreciate you seriously. Appreciate you coming on, and let's after the season we'll get together, St.
St.
George, get some
George.
good food.
I'm down for that. I'm definitely
Yeah,
down for
man.
that.
Yeah,
No,
man.
this has been awesome. I do like I draw a lot of inspiration from you through social media too, and I'll never forget. Like you were the first person to hit me up on social media in the door to door world. And then I got on a rabbit hole of all your stuff. So thank you for that. That was really cool for me. And you've helped me along this journey more than you know. Like that's the power of social media, though. It's like I'll get on there and I'll see people like you, people like Nor. Like posting stuff that I'm like, hell yeah, like if he can keep going, like I like Case and Stevens and all that, like I'm friends with all of y'all. And then when y'all post like, hey, like late in the day and you're still knocking, or like you're posting your failures, I'm like, okay, good. Like he's getting punched in the mouth too. That makes me feel better, like, and just seeing that just offers me more like belief and fire of like, let's keep going. Like, let's keep building. Like I'm not the only one in this battle. Let's stay in the battle. So shout out to you. Kudos to you, dude. I appreciate you. You've impacted me more than you know.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. And yeah, I'll definitely be in touch. Maybe I'll ask you for some advice here in the future.
Do it. Let's do it.
Ryan, man. I appreciate you though, man. Thank you so much.